Tonight's anime first impressions was actually a super chat goal that was unlocked in last month's live Q&A segment. So, I want to go ahead and take this opportunity to thank everybody who tuned in live to said Q&A, who participated and who helped reach said super chat goal. But if you actually I got the wrong banner up. But if you have a request for an anime that you would like to see me do a first impression style review on, or if you have an anime, film, or OVA that you want to see a full blown review on, please become a patron at patreon.com/OAW and select the Crunchyroller tier. For just $20, not only do you get your request for a review, but you also get access to all Patreon exclusive content. You get access to the OAW Vault, and you get an invite to participate live on said live Q&A, which is hosted right here on the OAW YouTube channel as well as the OAW Facebook page. So once again, that is patreon.com/OAW. And with that being said, this is going to be my first impressions of the anime series Fate Zero. Let's get it started.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Greetings to everyone watching live and everyone watching after the fact. Shout out to the faithful and salute to the patrons. This is Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief, here to bring you all another anime first impressions. And actually, you know what? I am going. Well, you know what? We'll leave that banner up. We'll leave that banner up. I think. Let me go back and edit that real quick. Because I've been working on the titles that I wanted to use. First impressions, anime impressions. But then again, I think if I say anime impressions, I think most people would think I'm trying to do voice performance impressions and whatnot. Anywho, how's everyone doing tonight? I want to thank you all for joining me again this week. So, as I mentioned in the opener for this vid, yes, this was the anime that was selected via the anime wheel during the super chat sweepstakes in June's Q&A. And so I decided, funny enough, I only planned on doing the first episode because I didn't know that the first episode was an hour long. So when I noticed that, I was like, oh man, well, okay, I'm just going, take a look at the first episode and, do the vid. Well, currently I'm on episode 6. So, so tonight I'm going to be giving you all my initial thoughts and first impressions on the first 5 episodes of Fate Zero. So feel free, click in the description box below. Because I'm going to get ready to give you all my the background information and synopsis of the film. Synopsis of the series. So please feel free in the description box below, click see more to read right along with me. All right, so let's get this thing started. Oh, and make sure I cue my graphic. All right, baby, let's go. Let's go. All right, so this is my initial thoughts and first impressions of the 2011 Japanese anime series Fate Zero, produced by Aniplex, Nitroplus, Notes, Seikaisha, and Ufotable, and directed by Ei Aoki. The series is based on the light novels written by Gen Urobuchi and illustrated by Takashi Take, Takeuchi, and serves as a prequel to Type Moon's visual novel Fate Stay Night. And synopsis of Fate Zero. Set 10 years before the events of Fate Stay Night, this anime tells the story of the Fourth Holy Grail War, a secret magical tournament where 7 magicians, known as masters, summon servants, the reincarnations of legendary souls and heroes from all across time, to fight in a deadly battle royale where the winner obtains the Holy Grail, a magical legendary chalice capable of granting wishes. So, that's a brief synopsis of pretty much what the series is about. I'm going to give you all my thoughts on the first 5 episodes. And real quick, if you guys have any questions or comments, you want to make sure it get read live right here on the air before the end of tonight's broadcast, feel free to drop a super chat and I'll make sure to get to those before I wrap up tonight's show. Also, if you prefer to support the channel in another way, Cash App, PayPal, both of those are available. They are linked in the description box below. All right, so All right, so tonight we're going. So yeah, I'm pretty much going to be talking about. Let me get my titles up. So yeah, so episode one, which is the pilot, summoning ancient heroes. Episode two, false start. Episode three, land of Fuyuki. Episode four, blade of the demonic spear, and episode five, the vicious beast roars. Yes. So yeah, those will be the five episodes I'm gonna discuss tonight. All right, so real quick. So, what are my first impressions of Fate Zero? Well, I tell you what. First off, I want to throw this out there because I did find this very surprising. For those of you all who have seen my pretty much like the anime that have been selected during the Super Chat sweepstakes for the last 3 months, no, you'll find this funny, they're related to Fate Zero. And this is what I mean. So the first anime that was ever selected from the wheel was Demon Slayer. That was animated by production studio Ufotable. And then last month's anime, Steins Gate, is based off of a visual novel that was produced by Nitroplus. Both companies produced this series. So I'm like, man, that's kind of funny, right? All right, so but yeah, so far, what did I think? What do I think of Fate Zero? Some surprisingly, I am liking it more than I thought I would, and that's not to say that at any point in time did I ever find that the series was bad or anything like that. I did fall asleep halfway through the first episode. Once again, I didn't know the first episode was an hour, and I was dead tired when I was watching it. So, but yeah, that first episode did, because it was twice as long and because the entire first episode is all setup. It's introduction to the main characters. It's pretty much setting up what the status quo for them are prior to the start of the Holy Grail War, right? And then it discusses the different alliances. It discusses some of the fundamental relationships. It discusses some of the potential strategies that are going to be utilized by said characters during the Holy Grail War. And then it concludes with the summonings of the servants that the mages are going to use in said war, right? And honestly, it wasn't until that, right? Like the last like 2 3 minutes when we see the summonings take place that I really like, that's when it caught my attention. I was like, oh snap, oh snap. And then yeah, second, third, let's see, the second episode I just like blazed straight through. I didn't even move during the second episode. And then I watched the third and I was like, you know what, I'm like, I could stop here because that's 2 hours worth of content. But I'm like, I kind of want to see what's gonna happen. So I went ahead and I watched another hour's worth. But yeah, surprisingly, I'm liking it a lot more. Easily, I can say that this series is in my wheelhouse because not only is it an action anime, but it's also, we're dealing with mages, so we're dealing with magic, sorcery, so it's supernatural in that aspect. But then the servants, as I mentioned in the synopsis, the servants are the, I won't go as far as, I guess you could call them reincarnations, but yeah, they're reincarnations from like either mythical heroic figures or historical heroic figures. And I'm all about that life. So yeah, it's sort of like this nice little marriage of concepts that I'm like, okay, I can kind of get down with this. But yeah, I mean, so far so good. Like I said, episode one was a little bit of a slow burn, but that's just because of its length. All the other episodes, I think the pacing is done well. None of the episodes seem to drag. And to say that, because let's see, because there are 13 episodes in this season, I'm one episode shy of the halfway mark. So we've already had our first like battle in the Holy Grail War, and assuming that the series keeps up with the pace that it has already, then I anticipate like it's just going to be a battle one after the next, after the next, after next. So so yeah, but you know So far, so good. I'm kind of surprised. So far, so good. All right, so um, let me see. Okay, so what do I like best about the series? The mythology is probably my favorite part of the series, the mythology, because as I mentioned before, not only are we referencing a lot of other mythologies in the series, but I'm talking about even like the world building of the Fate Stay series, right? Because so what is this? This is the Fourth Holy Grail War. So we do learn some of the history about the three prior wars. We learn some of the history behind some of the mage families because in this series, sort of like in Harry Potter, like you have these long-standing, like old families of magic, right? That go back several, generations. So that's pretty interesting. And then, like I said, we learned about how some of the family members, like some of um within their own respective families, how some of the relationships are. But then we also learned about the politics in between the families too, which that's really cool. And then the other, yeah, the surprising thing would be like the church, which is supposed to serve as sort of like an intermediary, like almost like referees, but the role that the church plays in the Holy Grail War and in the politics between the families, I think is pretty interesting too. So, yeah, I would say that's probably my favorite part. Cause when the series gets political, that's when I lean forward in my seat. I'm like, oh, okay, give me the goods, right? So that's pretty cool. That's pretty good. Um, I will say this. Okay, yeah, probably my second favorite thing about the series is the mystery behind the servants. And I'm gonna tell you why. So the servants in this series use code names. And I believe because it's seven servants, right? And I believe the names are Saber, Rider, Lancer, Assassin, Berserker, Archer, and Caster. And they use those titles because those are the classes that the servants are in, right? So like each one of those is a class. Think of a class like it's a classification. Like it describes like what their weapon set is or what their power set is, right? But the thing is, it's up to the servants to pretty much reveal their true identity. So when we start getting some of the identities, I was fascinated, especially since they don't use the most common version of said identity. So for an example, um writer is Excander. I had to look up because I thought I knew who that was. Like as soon I was like Iskander, I'm like that name sounds familiar. But as soon as he dropped Macedonia, I was like, oh, that's Alexander the Great. Sure enough, I was like, oh, okay, that's who that is. And then but there are okay, no, oh, I'm gonna tell y'all the one I got. The one I got was Gilgamesh. I called that one off top because when what is it tone is it what is my dude's name Tokiomi. Tokiomi, when Tokiomi reveals that the relic that he has to summon his servant is an old snake fossil, I'm like, snake, and it's a fossil, so it's that old. I'm like, the Epic of Gilgamesh, because Gilgamesh fights a giant serpent in his epic. So that was the only thing I could think of, and sure enough, man, it was Gilgamesh, and I was like, bruh. So that one I got right. And the main character, our protagonist, right? His servant. I mean, we're told who that's supposed to be, so that's not much of a big surprise. And then, but I'm trying to think. Okay, so Lancer, I knew nothing about, and Caster, I was familiar with. I just didn't know how old that mythology was. So I went and I looked that up, and I was like, "Oh snap!" Um, So yeah, so that Bluebeard, fascinating character if you want to go and look him up on Wikipedia. Because like I said, I had heard the story before, but I didn't know. I was like, oh snap, it goes, all the way back here. So that was pretty cool. And then we don't know who Berserker is yet. I guess that's going to be revealed later on, but we don't know who that is yet. So that was probably like my second favorite thing about the series was playing, like trying to figure out who each servant is, right? So that was pretty cool. And then of course the action is really good in the series. Once again, this is Ufotable, so just like with Demon Slayer, it's very well animated. The action is pretty good. Um, I am still looking forward to like a deeper exploration in terms of how the powers in like how the fighting mechanics of this series works, because it's like little bit by little bit, like the series is kind of giving us like little breadcrumbs, because it's like every episode they reveal like one new thing that we didn't know about how the combat was supposed to take place, right? So because I don't remember prior to episode 4 them ever mentioning anything about like cursed items. And then I think the what is it called? They're like their special move. That was only ever mentioned, I think, once, but it was never explained as to like how it works. Um, so yeah. The noble phantasm. That's what it's called. The noble phantasm. So yeah, that was only mentioned. I think that was mentioned once prior to episode 4. We don't even get an explanation in terms of like how it's actually supposed to work until the end of episode 4. So just stuff like that. It's like I'm slowly picking up the mechanics of the series, but that's pretty cool too. All right. And let me see what else. You know what? Surprisingly, the human characters are not as dull as I thought they would be. They are actually all fairly intriguing in their own right, which I was shocked by. Uh, and I'm talking about like all of the 7 mages in the competition. Some of the supporting characters, not so much, but once again, they're supporting. We don't get enough screen time with them. But I'm talking about like all 7 combatant, like all 7 mages. They're all pretty interesting. None of them are really boring. Um, my real quick, my favorite of the 7 right now, it might be. Oh man, my favorite. You know what? In, no, I'm probably going to go with the main character. Emiya. I'm probably going to go with him just because he's the most intriguing, just because he has sort of like that vague backstory. Um, but Tokiomi is another one of my favorites. I like Tokiomi. I like I just like his whole deal. Um his status, his background, the manner in which he speaks, so like the way his dialogue is, the manner in which he maneuvers, like um how he strategizes and stuff like that. Like he's cool. So yeah, him and Emiya might be my 2 favorites. You know what? Now that I think about it, um, yeah, Tokiomi is probably my favorite one right now. He's probably my favorite one right now. Easily my least favorite one is uh Kiri. I think that's how you pronounce it, Kiri. He's my least favorite. I don't like him. I don't like him. Um, yeah, I don't like him. I don't like him. I can't really. I don't know if it's the voice actor. I don't know if it's because he's like the double agent in the series. I don't know if it's because his servants are assassins, they sneaky, creepy little bastards. I don't know. Like, and then you know what? There was a scene in episode 2 where it's kind of like this montage where we're going back and forth between Emiya and Kirei, and they're pretty much talking about each other because they're like investigating each other, right? Like they're reading up on each other and they're trying to figure each other out. And I agree with what Emiya said about Kirei. I'm like, yeah, he could potentially be the most dangerous person in the competition because he's the one that is the least, like, he's the one that you cannot figure out. Because even Amiya, for as talented, as intelligent as he is, even he can't figure out Kirei's motives. Now, granted, he doesn't know about Kirei's backstory with I believe he's been widowed. He's a widow. His wife passed away and whatnot. That might have something to do with it because Amiya can't figure out what would this guy want with the Holy Grail, which I'm assuming that's what Kirei is after. But just how Kirei operates, I don't like it. It's too much of a it's too much there's too much snitch. Like it's not just like he's a double agent. He operates like a snitch, and snitches get stitches, yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. And then of course, like I said, that's almost reflective in his servants because it's a bunch of assassins. So I don't like that stuff. I don't like that. But now in terms, I'll tell you this though. In terms of the servants, right now my favorite one is probably Iskander. It's probably my favorite one. Which I'm gonna be real with y'all. What's funny about that is I am not a huge fan of the manner in which this interpretation of these characters. I'm not the biggest fan with. It took until Iskander showed up during that first fight for me to start to believe that that was actually Alexander the Great. Because everything with him, like in episodes 2 and 3, I'm like, that's not Alexander the Great. But then when he shows up on the battlefield, that's when I'm like, okay, I can kind of get down with this interpretation of the character. Okay, I can see that. I can see that. So that's number one. Number two, um, Gilgamesh. That's not Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh doesn't talk like that. He does not have that. He's not that conceited. He doesn't have that air of himself. And and here's the other thing too. Real talk. I'm just gonna throw this out there now, dude. I'm just gonna get this out of the way right here and now. The servants do not visually reflect their um literary counterparts, the literary inspirations. So Iskander does not look Greek. Gilgamesh does not look Sumerian at all. Because he has blonde hair and fucking red eyes. And I'm like, what kind of whitewashing bullshit is that? Gilgamesh does not look Sumerian at all. And I'm like, bruh. Um, and then so Lancer is based off of an old Irish folklore. Then why isn't he a redhead? And why does he not have an accent? Like okay. So the only character that could semi sort of remotely reflect their literary in literary inspiration the most would be Saber. But Saber is my least favorite of the servants, and I'm sorry, say what y'all will. I don't like the idea of King Arthur being a woman. I don't like that idea. King Arthur is one of my favorite characters. I called foul bullshit when that was revealed in the series. And I'm like, dude, if y'all wanted to do that, why not just do Joan of Arc? Why not make up Joan of Arc? Especially since I think that I think she will be mistaken for Joan of Arc because Castor's historical inspiration was a um was pretty served under Joan of Arc, and they've already set her up at the end of episode 5 to be like the target of his obsession. So if he mistakes her for Joan of Arc, I'm gonna be like, well, why the fuck didn't y'all just make her Joan of Arc from Jump Street? Why does she have to be King Arthur? So and yeah, Dijon is right. Yes, I watched the English dub. Um so yeah, I didn't care for that. I didn't care for her being King Arthur. Not a fan. Not a fan. Um yeah, not a fan. If I mean, dude, you you could have just made her Guinevere and just rewrote it to where Guinevere was a knight, right? Like, why not make her Guinevere? Why not make her Morgan Le Fay? Like, fuck, why not make her Igraine? Like, we have women who are important in the Arthurian myth. Why not use any one of them? Dude, why could she not be the Lady of the Lake? Especially since she wields Excalibur. Just make her the Lady of the Lake. Excalibur comes from the Lady of the Lake. But no, we had to make her Arthur, and I called bullshit on that. I called bullshit on that. Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. I just went off on a rant because don't fuck with my Arthur, man. That's all I'm saying. There are so many fucking female characters that would have been perfect choices, but they didn't use her. So yeah, she is my least favorite servant so far in the series, not because she's a bad character, because I think she's a good character. I think her performance is good. I think her dialogue is good. I think her voice actress is good. All of that's good. I don't like her conceit. I don't like her concept. I don't like that they did that to Arthur. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Um okay, so what else do I want to mention about this, cuz I am coming up on 30 minutes soon. So, like I said, animation is good, music is cool. And actually, since Dijon brought up the English dub's not bad. The dub's not bad. I like the dub. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Um, uh, I do. Okay, I do have questions about some of the dialogue, the way it's translated, because I watched the English dub, but I still had the subtitles from the Japanese dub, like the English subs from the Japanese dub. So yeah, some of the choices, some of the translation choices they used for some of the dialogue was questionable. Um but you know what? But it's kind of funny, dude, because it's like some of it is verbatim. It's straight from the Japanese dub, and then some of it is, just some of the terminology they use. I just thought was odd. Um, I tell you what, because somebody asked me about the dub, the cast, and let me see if I can find. Yeah, so here's the cast right here. So no, Amiya is voiced by. Wait, no, this can't be the right. Oh, Matthew Mercer, voiced by Matthew Mercer. Um, yeah, and let's see, Saber. That is, yeah, Carrie Walgren. So yeah, I recognized her voice almost immediately. Um, Crispin Freeman is Kirei. He's Kirei. That's who he is. And then, but no, there was another one. There was another yeah, Liam O'Brien, who does Korea or Karia. Yeah. Um yeah, I knew Johnny Young Bosch was Uryu. I knew that was Johnny Young Bosch. Cause when they introduced that character, I'm like, what the fuck is Johnny Young Bosch doing here? Yeah, so he's in this, and then I thought, yeah, Kyle Hebert is in it. He's Berserker, and there, man, I thought, yeah, Vic Magnolia is in it. Yeah, um, man, I thought Stephen Bloom was in this, but I guess not. I probably mistook his voice for someone else. Um, but anywho, but yeah, the English dub is fine. It's perfectly fine. Uh, so yeah, so I mean, so that pretty much wraps up like my first impressions on Fate Zero. Like I said, not bad. I'm kind of surprised with myself that I actually did like get into it as much as I did. Will I continue watching it? There's a very good possibility. Um, there's a possibility. Unless because because I still got a bunch of other stuff that I have to watch to review for the channel and whatnot. Um, but I mean, if I got some spare time and whatnot, and nothing's on TV, yeah, I could very easily see myself returning to this, especially since I'm already halfway through the first season. So yeah, it's good possibility. All right, real quick, I want to see what's up with the people in the chat. Um, yeah, yeah, Dijon, yeah, yeah, yeah. I ain't, I got carried away. Ended up watching more than the episodes I anticipated. Um, Dijon asks Larry, ever watch any slice of life anime since you mentioned action based anime? Not too much. I've seen some, but I don't watch it. I don't watch slice of life that often. Unless it's like in a movie. Unless it's like in a movie. Marlon, I watched 5 episodes, the first five. And yes, I would expect it to be like a Viking or Norseman since it's called the Berserker. Yes, that is what I would. Um, do, 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 do. You gonna be surprised who Berserker is? Really? Am I? Okay. So then it's someone I would not anticipate to be a. Well, I mean, that could be anybody. Um, what other? Oh, this is a good one. What other noble heroes would you like to see in the show? Other noble heroes. Good question. I would really have to think about that. Let me give me a minute real quick. So, more Greeks. Achilles, Hector, Theseus, uh, Odysseus, Hercules, any one of those, right? I would hope to see hell, even some Romans, right? Mark Anthony, Octavius, Caesar, Aurelius, any of them cats, right? Would be cool. Let me see. Western, more Western. Well, so here's the thing. I find it funny that notice how the story takes place in Japan and we have Japanese characters, but there is not a single Japanese hero mentioned yet. So yeah, like if they were like Musashi Miyamoto, Sukuhara Bokuden, either Masamune or Muramasa, either one of those two would be cool. Um, Sasuke Sarutobi, Hattori Hanzo, any one of them would be cool. I'm trying to think of another one. Um, but those are like the big ones. Those would be the big ones. I would if they were going to do a Japanese character. Oh, I'm sorry. Oda Nobunaga would be one. Um, oh, what is his name? See, I'm trying to think about all my all of my Sengoku heroes, right? Like what is his name? Sarada? What is his full name though? But yeah, any one of those guys I would expect to see if they wanted to do anything Japanese, right? And then yes, Dijon, yeah, they use mythological and historical characters. Yes. Uh if I oh okay, Black Wolf, this is a good one. This is a good one. I like this one. He says if you were in the show, which hero will oh dude, if I was in the series, I'm gonna tell you who I want, right? Zulu. Give me Shaka Zulu, baby. That's who I want. That's who yeah. If I have give me Shaka Zulu, bro. That's who I want. That's who I want. Shaka Zulu. Yeah. Because I've seen their because I would have went with Alexander the Great, but I've seen their interpretation of Alexander the Great. So I'm like, if that's the case, nah man, give me Zulu, bro. Give me Zulu. Um but other characters I would want to see, Robin Hood. Robin Hood would be. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's not going to be in this series, but like in one of the later, Fate series, like since you have an archer class, like Robin Hood is the ideal archer. I would also say, uh, let's see, because I had William Wallace would be really cool, right? Genghis Khan would be really cool. Um, Trying to think of some other ones. Yeah, well, yeah. I'll keep it right there for right now. I don't want to go too much more into the too much more um yeah, because then we'll be here all night, and I really do got to wrap this one up. All right, so yeah, guys, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna wrap up this anime first impressions. I want to take this opportunity to thank everybody for watching live, and thank everybody for watching after the fact. As always, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Share on social media. That helps tremendously, guys. Real talk. Like if you're unable, if you want to support the channel but you're unable to do so, via super chat, or if you're unable to do it financially, liking this video, sharing it on social media, sharing it, Facebook, Twitter, sharing it with your friends, that helps tremendously. Like you guys have no idea how much that helps. That helps so much. So yeah, please feel free if you like the video, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Much appreciated. Follow me on social media as always, facebook.com/oaw entertainment, twitter.com/oaw entmt, twitch.tv/oaw _ entertainment. Been a while since I've done a Twitch stream. I'm not quite sure. I gotta go back and I gotta finish Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. I don't know when I'm gonna do that though. Is going to sort of be a pop up thing. It might maybe sometime this weekend or something. Um, that's probably the next thing I'll do on Twitch. But like I say, I ran into some issues with Twitch during the last stream, so I might not be able to show you guys all of the gameplay. Because the cutscenes wouldn't come through for some reason. I don't know. It's weird. But anyway, follow me there. Of course, if you have yet to do so, if this is your first video, first time watching OAW Entertainment, first of all, welcome. Thank you for joining. Thank you for sticking around this far. As always, become a subscriber here, youtube.com/OAW Entertainment. And last but certainly not least, if you guys have an anime, I'll throw this out there too. If you guys have a manga that you want me to check out as well, right? If you guys have an anime that you want to see me do like a first impression style of, or if you have a manga that you want to see me do a first impression style of, right? Or if it is like an anime film or an anime OVA, 90 minutes or less, that too, I'm totally fine with that too. You guys have one y'all want to see me check out? Become a patron at patreon.com/OAW and select the Crunchyroller tier. Once again, $20, and that gets you your request as well as access to the Patreon exclusive content, the OAW Vault, and an invite to participate in the monthly Q&A right here on the OAW YouTube channel as well as the OAW Facebook page. Once again, facebook.com/OAW, select that Crunchyroller tier. All right, guys. So what to keep an eye out for later this week? I'm wrapping things up on Friday. I have another top 5 for you guys. You're not going to want to miss that one. I'm super stoked for it because it's one of the ones that I've been wanting to do for a while. So check that out. Anyway, I got to get out of here. With that being said, it's been Larry Williams, OAW Commander in Chief. I am signing off. And until next time, peace.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?